Welcome to Mitten Music.
Season 4, Raw, Live, and Authentic. Episode 12, Taylor DeRousse, the indie rock pop singer-songwriter from the Detroit area. Welcome, Taylor DeRousse from Detroit, the Detroit area.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you
for joining
for
us
having
today.
me.
Yeah. Brand spanking new album is out, right?
Correct.
Oh.
Yes, it came out on Friday.
Man, for some reason I felt like it came out even earlier than that, but dang. Nice.
Well, you have been releasing some tracks over the last year, right? Kind of building up to this?
Yeah, we did 5 singles off the record, and we released those like between 4 to 6 weeks at a time, up until the release of the full record.
Cool. Was that your idea to do that? Is that how you like to do it? Or did you kind of be like, hey, this is what people have been doing? Or you kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because this is something we talk to just about every band or artist about, how they release their stuff. Is there a method to it? They just put out whatever as they record it. Do they plan up to an album? Or what was your thinking?
I think everyone has a different method a little bit, and I think it's always changing too, like what bigger names in the music industry are doing. So I think honestly, like when Friday came around and the whole record came out, I probably would have done the whole rollout differently than when we started doing it in September. But working with Bird Flight Records and with that group, they had done records kind of like that before, and with that process, and found success with it. And it was a lot, like a long process. So I think there's a burnout that comes, with an artist and with the fans. Like you can only put so much content out before fans or people just kind of stop really seeing it. But the process of recording and making the record took so long that I didn't want to just drop it and be done with it. So ultimately, I'm glad we spread it out.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear that perspective, because I don't think we've heard that yet, Ryan. Like it's, you talked about the potential burnout and that type of thing that, could come with the different processes. So,
yeah.
So sure, it's pretty exciting though. You got your first album out.
It's
released. It's out in the world. You had some, like you said before, she had some songs before, and you even had some singles. It looked like earlier 2020,
22.
had a couple singles out, but it's probably, how's that feel to get the full thing out?
Yeah, it feels really good. Feels like a big accomplishment. You mentioned the singles that I put out before this project. I think none of those felt like the right fit of the people that I worked with to record and produce my music. So this felt like a really good fit creatively, and they were good people to work with, which I think makes all the difference as well. Just like good, kind humans. I think this is the first release that I've had that it sounds how it sounds in my head when I'm writing the song with just a guitar or the piano. So it's the first one I really feel super proud of. And the songs span like a 10-year period, so it just feels like a really long time coming and a big project in that way as well.
Yeah. You feel like, like you said, some of these songs have been around for almost a decade. Is it feel like the songs are matured enough for you? Like you've gotten to the point where you've refined them, where you feel like it's the right time to release them anyway? Or
yeah, I think that I had tons of songs that I brought to the producers, and we narrowed it down from there. So it wasn't really the plan to put out, like the oldest one being 10 years old.
Yeah.
So
What's the newest song on the album?
the newest one, the one that was written the most recently, is I think Outsider, which is the first track, and the oldest one is Searching, which is actually the last one. So
Ooh,
kind of cool,
ooh,
full circle. Yeah, how
newest to
that
oldest,
happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah. And I'm skipping around here. Do you? I was bumping around on your Instagram yesterday, and I was thinking, I was like, man, Taylor. I feel like Taylor and Kylie Phillips would match up pretty good. And then, of course, I see
Yes.
a post, and you might. Did you eat? You? I now I don't even remember if you just if you played with her or you're about to play with her. But I saw her name on one of your in one of the concert flyers or something. Is that when? What was the story there?
Yeah. I've actually never met Kylie. I follow along. I love her music. We have a lot of mutual friends and musicians in common, but she's gonna play on the bill for my album release show
May.
in May.
Yes. Perfect. Oh, and that's in Ferndale. Okay. Sweet. I saw that. I was like,
Yes.
dude, that is friggin' perfect.
It is.
I just thought they had the similar vibe just by glancing at your social media, right? And I was like, I think they'd be a good pair. So that was hilarious when I saw that. So that's cool.
Yeah,
We just
Ryan, it's funny because you and I hadn't talked about that, but I
no.
was thinking the same thing when I was listening to your songs, Taylor, that I thought of Kylie Phillips is a comparable, not the same, right?
Yeah,
But you
no,
guys
not the
have a
same.
comparable sound. And I thought that was kind of neat. So that's cool that you guys are going to be on the same bill, and she's going to be there for your release party because I think that's a perfect fit.
Yeah,
So
for sure. That is cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Super excited to hear her and her band play, and also Giacomo. They're a really awesome band as well. I'm not sure if you guys have connected
I'm
with
not familiar with them. I'll have to check it out.
them either. Yes, definitely should. But all female fronted bands too, which I think is great
Cool.
and matters a lot to me. So I think it's going to be a good time. And yeah.
Was and I both have Rebel Eve shirts on. Look at that.
yeah.
You'd think
Love
we
it.
did a podcast together.
So the release show was it May 10th?
Yep.
Yes, correct.
Okay, May 10th.
Is the venue called Loving Touch?
Yes, the
In
Loving Touch in
Ferndale. Yep.
Ferndale.
Perfect.
You've never heard
Yeah.
of it?
I like it. No.
I
I'm
have.
I mean, I'm glad I know who
Where are you
Kylie
guys
Phillips is.
based out of?
We're out of
Grand
West Michigan,
Rapids. Yeah.
which
Oh, okay.
I was going to bring up. You went to college here in Grand Rapids,
Did.
right?
Ooh.
For piano performance, right? And
Yes.
okay, so you're familiar with the Grand Rapids area as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of cool to go to school there. I mean, I was in a very different realm musically, being like in the classical music
Hmm.
world, but it was still great to go to a school really small, but right next to a big city with a great music
Yeah.
community as well. So that was a great
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get we went to the East Side and did a whole bunch of interviews over a weekend. We've been there a couple other times to see shows, but we haven't really gone enough to go to the smaller places where there are so many of them, right? I mean, in Grand Rapids, we have our 6 to 8 places that we kind of usually can go to, and it's easy to get to we don't live far and all that stuff. But it's like when we go to the East Side, man, we got to plan out some weekend where we can at least check out like 4 or 5 different ones.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every time we interview an artist that we're not super familiar with from the East Side, they always have a story or they want to tell us about a venue that we've never heard of before. It's like, man, how many more venues are there? Apparently,
Yeah.
billions.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, you should come on May 10th.
Hey, it's not April, so yeah, that works. April's been so dang busy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just been it's going to be busy. Yeah.
So how did you kind of just alluded to it around your classical background a little bit? How did you are you still first of all, are you still utilizing that for I think you might be doing music education? And then how did you I'm going to double question you here. So one that and then two, how did you move from classical music to what you're actually putting out, which is more that indie rock or pop rock sound?
Yeah. Well, full transparency, they give a lot of scholarship money to music majors, full on music majors. So, being an 18-year-old, I knew I wanted to do music, but not quite sure how to make it a career or what realm. So, I went that route.
Okay.
And I've always loved classical music. It's, I think, the most common form of study for musicians a lot of times. did that, and it was never really my passion. I loved songwriting, loved singing, and I think piano was really just like the vessel for me to do that. And I started teaching in college, just referrals from my school, and kind of helped get myself through college in that way, and just always really loved it. And I think I've just been doing music full time since then, my whole life,
Hmm.
and just that always looks different with different odds and ends, types of jobs, and a way to make ends meet, different streams of
Yeah.
income. So I think that that kind of shaped my path in that way. But I think like my songwriting was really always what brought me the most joy, or my biggest connection to music, and what I enjoyed the most out of it. And I think I really blossomed in that like outside of college. I had some
Cool.
iffy interactions with other musicians in college.
Mm,
So once I was away from that, I think that that's kind of when I really came into my own and was able to find my own style and that sort of thing.
cool.
Okay.
I dig
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
Where do you get inspiration from? You've been writing songs for a while. Have you always kind of had the same method to writing a song, or pulling your creativity from the certain place? Has it changed over the years? What's that like?
It changed over the years. I think it changes by the week or by the day as
Mm.
well. I teach a lot of songwriting classes to some of my students, and I feel like I'm always handing them a million things, or showing them a lot of different ways, because I think sometimes a song can come to you in its entirety in a really short period of time. It just all comes out at once. And then other times, um, I've gone back through like my voice memos or notes in my phone and found little ideas that I've then gone and worked on or combed through, or songs that I've come back to years after and rewritten. But I think
Hmm.
that a lot of my inspiration just comes from using songwriting kind of as like a way to process my experiences and my emotions, like therapy kind of.
Yeah.
My family always is like, "Are you okay? Like that song was really dark or sad, what's going on? Or why don't you write a happy song?" And I think there's a lot of musicians that are really, really good at that. I am just not one of them. I don't know how
Yeah.
people write happy songs without sounding so cheesy, and I won't name like
Fake
artists to
or
compare
yeah.
to. Yeah, but there's just some that I just don't relate to that or connect with it as much. So
Interesting. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. How did you I noticed so the album name is Running Back to Me. It's not it has, sometimes you've got self-titled a song that reflects the album name. How did you come up with the name of the album? Like what is that meaning for you, or with a theme? What?
yeah. So I'm very big on when I listen to records. I don't know, maybe you guys are like this as well. I have to listen all the way through. Can't
Mm,
shuffle through an album. That to me seems so
Front to
crazy
back.
that anyone can do that.
Yep.
But the very last line on the record is running back to me. It's like maybe I'll find it when I finally come running back to me. And I think that the whole
oh,
theme of
interesting.
the project is taking all these experiences from growing up and kind of like a coming of age,
Cool.
and really digging through all that to find who you are, and like that self acceptance, and kind of coming back to who you were at the beginning before anyone told you what you should be. I wrote all these songs like between the ages of 18 and 27, and just kind of like coming back to that person who you have always been, but maybe like have been told not to be, or, changed
Mhm.
yourself to fit in certain ways, in certain boxes, but like coming back to the person that you were always supposed to be. So,
And I love the fact that that's the last line in the album. Like I said, you wouldn't catch it, and I wasn't maybe paying a close enough attention when I listened to the album, but at the end, those last words. But yeah, that's kind of neat. So I want to ask you this because you were talking about how you love to just listen to an album straight through.
Front to back.
Ryan and I both agree, but I will say that I have shifted a little bit depending on what's going on. Listening to, based on some of the artists we're listening to, we just might listen to a single or anything. But as you were releasing singles, or when you have to do that process, right? Do you feel like that's difficult for you because you're like, I'm just releasing a piece of this, and they really should be hearing the whole thing together?
Oh.
I can definitely see that perspective. That never really crossed my mind. I think I was just engrossed in like the marketing aspect of doing so, if that makes sense. And then just had the hope that maybe those songs would grab listeners, and then kind of the pieces would all be filled in when the whole thing was available to listen to.
Yeah. Okay.
Very cool.
So you worked with Bird Flight Records, right?
Yes.
Who did they produce the album, or was somebody else producing it?
They produced it. So the studio they call is like JK Not Kidding Studios. It's located in Rochester, and then their label that they've been releasing local artists on is Bird Fight Records. So it's John Katona and Tom Hollis, and those are the two guys that are kind of running things over there. And they were really awesome to work with. When I say we spent so many hours working on everything, but everything is all like live instrument sounds. There's nothing like computerized or anything, so we were recording all the tracks live all the time. So
that's cool.
Analog,
yes, that's the word.
Analog, there you go.
Bird Flight Records, right? Bird Flight as in flying. Oh, it is Bird Fight. For a minute, I thought it was Bird Food. I thought someone said Bird Food, but it's Bird Fight. Jeff, I thought you said Bird Food. So that's why I was questioning it. Is it Bird Flight, Bird Food, Bird Fight? Bird Fight. Cool. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to check them out. I'll check them out too. Nice. We're learning all sorts of good new stuff from Taylor.
I know the Rebel Eves have gone there to do some recording. They do like live sessions as well that they post on YouTube. So that's kind of like a big thing that they've done there.
Perfect. We'll check that out. Just like Dogtown Studios or Grove Studios.
Exactly,
they all have something similar type of recording process or sharing off on their socials.
It's amazing. There's so many opportunities, different places to go to in the state. And there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of musicians to find the right fit. Like you said, you walk through you've done some other recordings before, they weren't the right fit for you, and it sounds like this was a good fit and the chemistry was there.
Good stuff. Well, thank you for giving us the time, Taylor. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody, go listen to the album and make it to Ferndale if you can, May 10th. Check out Miss Taylor and Kylie Phillips and Jamco. What was her name? Giacomo. That's another one. I got to check them out. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
What else? Where else can people find your live music? Any other dates that you've got out there besides the May 10th right now?
No, the Loving Touch will be like the biggest show that I've ever played, and arguably too big of a venue for me to realistically headline. So I am only promoting that and only that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Cool. Well, get out.
That's exciting.
Fill the place up.
That's cool.
And give Taylor a great audience. We need people out seeing live music, so go check her out.
Yeah,
we will remind folks as well about the show as much as we can.
I appreciate it.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you so much.
A great rest of your week. For
you
sure.
Guys as well.
Rock on. Thanks.
Bye.
If you like this episode, check out all of our episodes on your favorite streaming platform, or even our website, themittenmusic.com. Or if you want short clips of our episodes, check out our socials. We got Facebook, we have Instagram, we got TikTok, and YouTube. We're all over the social media game. Make sure to check out some live Michigan music or listen on your favorite streaming platform.